I see all of us are here. So I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:06. It is May 4th, 2020, and this is the Lansing City Council regular meeting for that day. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Can't hear.
Oh, there he left. He's back. Mr. Clerk, are you there? There you go.
Not sure what happened to my internet there.
Please call the roll. I'm sorry.
Okay, Councilmember Betts,
Unmute here. Thank you.
Councilmember Dunbar,
Here.
Councilmember Garza,
Here.
Councilmember Hussein,
Here.
Councilmember Jackson,
Present.
Councilmember Spatafor,
Present.
Councilmember Spitzley,
Here.
Councilmember Wood.
Here.
There are 8 members present, a quorum, no members are absent, and we are to the meditation and pledge of allegiance.
Is there anybody that council members wish that we keep in our thoughts during this this moment? Okay, I will just again reiterate keeping those frontline employees that are working to keep us safe and healthcare workers who are working to make us and keep us healthy as we do that. And then I won't put anyone on the spot today. I will lead the Pledge of Allegiance today. So please join me in a moment of meditation. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And you have for your approval the printed council proceedings of April 9th and April 27th.
We have before us those proceedings. Do I have a motion from Vice President Hussein for both?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
On adoption of the proceedings, Councilmember Betts,
Yes.
Councilmember Dunbar,
Yes.
Councilmember Garza,
Yes.
Councilmember Hussein,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilmember Spatafor,
Yes.
Councilmember Spitzley,
Yes.
Councilmember Wood.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays. The printed council proceedings are approved, and we are to comments by council members and the city clerk.
There are folks on council who wish to make comments this evening. Please do so by raising your hand. All right, we're going to move on. Thank you. Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, and I will remind folks once again, especially since our Secretary of State did a press conference, Lansing has no election tomorrow. Please do not vote tomorrow. We are to community event announcements. If anyone from the public wishes to make a community event, we can give you 1 minute.
I think we have Loretta Stanaway.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and get her unmuted. Loretta, am I correct? Is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Very
I
good.
just wanted to announce that the Friends of Lansing's Historic Cemeteries is planning to do their annual distribution of free geraniums at Evergreen Cemetery on Saturday, the 16th, between 10 and 2, assuming that the governor has not still extended the stay-at-home orders. So we are looking to distribute 125 free seed geraniums to people to plant in Evergreen or North or Mount Hope cemeteries. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I want to announce that you do have to raise your hand if you want to address City Council. And following the mayor's comments, we will be moving to public comment on legislative matters, which it will include the public hearing and the resolutions for action on the agenda. So if you can go ahead and raise your hands during the time that the mayor is speaking so that President Spatafor can get you queued up. On the phone, dial *9. On a Mac, option Y. On Windows, Alt-Y. And on a tablet, remind me, President Spatafor.
You push the participants button and then there's a raise hand button.
Okay. And while people are putting their hands up, we are to the mayor.
Mr. President? Mayor, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So just a few reminders. Anybody who wants to help out with the supporting the One Lansing Fund, which is a fund through the Capital Area United Way. If you have any extra dollars, you want to help out with mortgage assistance, rental assistance, things like that. If you received your $1,200 check from the federal government and want to donate it, that's a great place to do it. It's tinyurl.com/onelansing. So that would be a great place to assist. If you want to assist nonprofits, you can also work through the community foundation or give directly to nonprofits, and they'll be matched. I hope everybody saw Lansing 501 on, I think it was Friday night. They did 4 hours of concerts and community folks doing kind of a telethon. They did a live-a-thon, telethon. It was pretty impressive, and they raised some money for our nonprofits, so that was a great effort. I had a few other things. One of the issues that I wanted to make sure folks knew about is, I lost my train of thought. In a week and a half, we will, I know Ms. Stanaway just mentioned giving away flowers. We're also gonna have our Neighborhoods in Bloom program on May 16th. Still working through making sure that this is an allowable activity as was said under the stay home order, but we're gonna be giving away flowers for neighborhoods to beautify. It's always a great effort. This year it'll be a little different. People can still beautify in front of their homes, and they can still exercise and walk around, so they can still do plantings and things. And also on that day will be our next mobile food pantry on the 16th, and I believe that's at Cristo Ray on Miller Road. So that's what I've got. Oh, and, and I don't know if I mentioned, sorry, I forgot one other thing. If you haven't filled out your census form, please fill it out. If you haven't told somebody to fill out their census form, please tell them. I want to say we're at about 58% right now. So we're pushing higher and higher. We want to get as high as we can go in the city and throughout the state. One thing we did have, thank you to many of our employees. We still have some employees who are not coming into the office and yet don't have as much that they can do at home because their job is office-based. And many of those employees have jumped in and are making census calls to many of our citizens to remind them to fill out the census, as well as to do home checks for seniors and others. But I want to say we've done something like 1,200 census calls already. So we are going to continue to push to make sure that every one of our citizens is counted, and we are getting the resources that we need, especially understanding that in these times, both for dollars for us and for representation in Congress. So that's what I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Councilmember Wood has a question for you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, could you speak to yard waste and code compliance since you've got a minute, please?
Sure, and I was wrong, 62%. We're at 62%, not 58% for census. Yard waste, I believe, restarted today. We needed to have a stable workforce, and we do now. So yard waste restarted today, and it's going to be mostly normal. We expect that, as happens every year, a lot of people put out bags before the start date. And this year it was pushed back a few weeks, so it may take them a little longer to collect in the first week or so than normal because of the volume. But yard waste has started. Again, if you're a day or two behind in collection, please know that our folks are on top of it. If you don't get collected in a week or whatever, call my office and we'll see if you were missed or something. But yard waste has restarted. I think we put out that release, I don't know, a week or two ago, probably last week. Code compliance, our premise officers are back on duty. We are hesitant to send anybody into a home, but premise officers can still look at properties from the outside, get violations for trash, get violations for, front yard parking and things like that. We have not been ticketing for grass violations because people could not hire out yard mowing. Last week that changed, and this week they will be taking complaints. Again, we're trying to be flexible, understanding the limitations of the stay-at-home order, but still want to make sure that that people's properties are in shape according to code. So our folks are back out. Our only challenges right now are in-home. So for rental inspections and things, that's a challenge that we're working through. We don't want to go too long without doing in-home inspections because we want to make sure that people are living in safe conditions. So we're working on proper protocols for how those folks to get in and resume inspections. So that's all in progress. But I think we are mostly back up except for the in-home rental inspections, which has been take a little bit more time to work through, but we will be back up. We're not going to leave that for months and months on end. So our code folks are back out and doing their jobs.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Hussein has a question as well.
Mayor Shore, I guess I'm curious, in terms of our current budget, how many positions are funded for yard waste collection, and have all of those positions been filled? So I guess the question is, are we operating at full capacity, or are we operating kind of with a skeleton crew of sorts?
I don't know the total number, but we are now operating, I believe, at full capacity. I want to say, I don't even want to guess. I want to say 4, but that could be off. But the original issue was that we bring back seasonals, and some of the seasonals, honestly, were doing better on unemployment, so it didn't come back. And some of the seasonals had to move over to solid waste because we had some employees that were out on leave. So we shored up the solid waste, and then, but that stabilized last week, and Director Kilpatrick felt comfortable putting the number of employees that we need to run yard waste. I can't remember the exact number. I want to say it's 4, but it could be 6. But a lot of it is based on seasonals. We can get you the exact number. If Andy's on, he's welcome to jump in, but he might not be on any longer. But we can get you the exact number.
Mr. Kilpatrick's not on.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Vice President Hussein, did that answer your question, or at least are you all set?
It does. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Okay, we are to public comment on legislative matters, and that does include, as I said, the resolutions for action as well as the public hearing, which is in consideration of the City of Lansing fiscal year 2021 budget. So now is the time. President Spatafor, I don't think we have a presentation for this. So
We don't know. It's if there's any
just
public comment on those items. I don't see any public comment, Mr. Clerk, so let's move on.
Okay, we are to resolutions for action by the Committee of the Whole.
Yeah, sorry. Councilmember Vice President Hussein.
Sure. So the first resolution for action is action item 1A. This is the annual consolidated strategy and plan submission and action plan proposed budget for CDBG fund resources for fiscal year 2021. We were given a presentation on April 13th. We also had a public hearing on April 27th. I'll just very briefly discuss what we heard and what we conversed about. It was explained that the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development requires annual submission of an action plan in order to receive community development resources each year. Those resources include the following. First, the Community Development Block Grant Funds, which are used for activities in assisting with housing, rehab of low to moderate income housing, as well as economic development of public services in what we call Community Development Block Grant eligible areas. These resources also include home funds, which help with new home construction, down payment assistance, and similar activities aimed at increasing home ownership and affordable housing options to low and moderate income individuals and families. And then the last set of resources is a fund or grant program called the Emergency Solutions Grant Funds, which primarily serves to address homelessness through street outreach, emergency shelter, homelessness prevention, as well as rapid rehousing. The action plan before us includes development goals, objectives, strategies, as well as a budget for fiscal year 21. And the following numbers were included in that budget: $2,045,460 in community development block grant funds, $751,990 in home funds, and $176,452 in ESG funds. The amounts do not include program revenue or additional funds from the previous year. It is projected that we will have an additional $115,000 for community development block grant funds, as well as $174,000 in home funds. So that said, I'd move the resolution.
There is a motion before us on the resolution. Is there further discussion on the resolution? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
On the CDBG budget, Councilmember Betts,
Yes.
Councilmember Dunbar,
Yes.
Councilmember Garza,
Yes.
Councilmember Hussein,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilmember Spatafor,
Yes.
Member Spitzley,
Yes.
Councilmember Wood.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays, the resolution is adopted. And we are to the funding application for the local bridge program.
Vice President Hussein.
Sure. So we discussed this resolution today as part of our committee of the whole meeting. It was explained that MDOT is currently taking applications for the local bridge program, and it's for 2023 in terms of fiscal year. We are allowed to submit up to 5 funding applications. We can also bundle multiple preventative maintenance projects or applications together into one. So the resolution before you, council colleagues, would approve the Public Service Department's submittal of fiscal year 2023 funding application for MDOT's local bridge program, and it would include the following: replacement funding for the Aurelius Road Bridge over Pulaski Creek, also replacement funding for the Elm Street Bridge over the Red Cedar River, preventative maintenance funding for Enterprise Drive over Pulaski Creek. We then had an application that is being bundled, and that is preventative maintenance for Pennsylvania Avenue over Jackson and Lansing Railroad, as well as East Cesar Chavez Avenue over Grand River. And then the 5th application is preventative maintenance funding for Beach Street over Red Cedar River. If we are successful, the city would receive funding to finance 95% of construction costs, and the city would fund 5% of construction costs and 100% of engineering costs. Because of the importance of the replacement of the Aurelius Road Bridge, we are proposing to cover 10% of the construction costs for that particular project to signal to MDOT the importance of completing that project. That being said, I would move the resolution.
There is a motion before us on the resolution. Is there further discussion from council? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
On adoption of the bridge funding application, Councilmember Betts,
Yes.
Councilmember Dunbar,
Yes.
Councilmember Garza,
Yes.
Councilmember Hussein,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilmember Spatafor,
Yes.
Councilmember Spitzley,
Yes.
Councilmember.
Yes.
There are 8 yeas, 0 nays. The resolution is adopted, and that takes us to the tax anticipation notes.
Vice President Hussein.
Yeah, so essentially this authorized the issuance of borrowing. We had a conversation in the committee of the whole. It does not obligate us to actually issue those tax notes, or I should say to the borrowing of the money, but it does give the administration the approval to initiate the process and to work to secure the lowest interest rates. There was a lot of conversation about whether or not council will have another bite at the apple, so to speak. The resolution does in fact give the administration the authority to issue these tax anticipation notes, although our administration has committed to essentially coming back and providing a report to council. So that being said, I would move the resolution.
There's a motion before us. Is there further discussion to be had? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
On adoption of the resolution, Betts,
Yes.
Councilmember Dunbar,
Yes.
Councilmember Garza,
Yes.
Councilmember Hussein,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilmember Spatafor,
Yes.
Councilmember Spitzley,
No.
Councilmember Wood.
I'm voting yes, with the understanding that we had from the finance director that this would be an appropriation that we would have to come back and appropriate those funds. So based on that, I am voting yes.
Okay, 7 yeas, 1 nay, the resolution is adopted. And that takes us actually to the referral of the public hearings. We have number one, the City of Lansing year 21 budget.
Yeah, that's going to go back to the committee of the whole.
Okay, and with that, we are to speaker registration for public comment on city government related matters. That's any city government matter. I believe you've heard the instructions on how to raise your hand. Star 9 on the phone, option Y on a Mac, Alt Y on PC. And so go ahead and raise your hand while we are doing the referrals. So in the meantime, we're to reports of the city officers, boards, and commissions.
Vice President Hussein.
Sure. I'd move that all items be considered as being read in full and that the proper referrals be made by you.
Okay, the proper motion is before us, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Betts,
Yeah.
Councilmember Dunbar,
Yes.
Councilmember Garza,
Yes.
Councilmember Hussein,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson, Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilmember Spatafor,
Yes.
Councilmember Spitzley,
Yes.
Councilmember Wood.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays, the motion is adopted. So we have a letter from the city clerk regarding the general fund status report for the third quarter.
That's a committee of the whole.
Letter from the mayor regarding Porter Senior Apartments pilot.
Committee on Development and Planning.
Grant acceptance for $10,000 for public art.
Committee on Ways and Means.
And communications and petitions, a notice from the Liquor Control Commission regarding new SDM license with Sunday sales at 1625 West Mount Hope.
The Committee on General Services.
All right, then we are to remarks by council members.
Any council members? I just have one remark. Sherry Boak, our office manager, is working diligently with the clerk's office and others to try and develop a plan for what happens when we come back to work back in city council chambers to ensure proper sterilization, hygiene, social distancing, that kind of stuff. So I want you all to know that we are working to try and get us back to a more normal looking city council operation post stay home orders, but only when we've determined it's going to be safe and in the best interest of public health. So as much fun as these are for all of us, I know we're all looking forward to getting back to city council chambers as soon as possible. So know that we're working on that, and Sherry's really taken the lead on that. So we appreciate that effort. And the clerk's office for also working alongside her with that.
We appreciate the cooperation.
So I think we're done with my remarks and council remarks, so we'll move on.
We're to the mayor's remarks.
The only thing I will add, Mr. President, if you will ask Sherry to touch base with Nick Tate, he's working on our return plan for the city. And I don't know if he's touched base with Sherry. I assume he has, but if not, we've got citywide things that are being worked on and then departmentally adjusting. So if you could have Sherry touch base, that would probably make sense if it hasn't already happened. And I appreciate all that she's doing if she's listening, which I'm sure she is.
She's usually listening, and if she's not, I'll make sure that we have her circle back. So
We are to public comment on city government related matters. And I see Ms. Stanaway seems to have her hand up.
yes, let me get you unmuted, Loretta. Ms. Stanaway, you're all set. You have 3 minutes. Let me get my timer ready, but you can steal some extra minutes if you wait while I get the timer ready. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask if the mayor would address this once I'm done asking the question. I've been told by Alfreda Schmidt that the plans were ongoing to go ahead and have the in-person memorial events at Little Arlington as typically are held on Memorial Weekend. Yet then today I was told that they're talking about doing it virtually. And as a potential participant, it would be really helpful for me to know and to be able to promote it on our Facebook page and other places. Is the plan still going to be an in-person event, or is it going to be virtual, or do you know? Thank you.
That explains the voicemail I have from Frieda Schmidt, but I'll let the mayor answer that. He had his hand up. So, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Brett should be alerting folks that the plan is in motion now. The plan that we have come up with, and again, Brett is working on the details, is to do an event with the same presenters, but not have the public there, and then to broadcast it on Facebook Live and City TV and anywhere else. So still having a speaker at Little Arlington, probably myself and a speaker distanced, all the wreath bearers. So there's usually 4 or 5 wreath bearers. So we'll get the people that usually are the presenters will continue to do that, but we won't have the crowd of people sitting there in the blazing hot sun watching. We'll ask people to watch remotely. That's the generic plan that we're coming up with now. We want to still do something. Brett is working with the Veterans Commission on all the details for this. So I'll talk to him and make sure he lets the presenters know. I think we just kind of finalized this last week or late last week. So I'll talk to Brett and make sure that he lets the presenters know, but we'd still like to have this ceremony. It's a beautiful ceremony. And we still like to let people, do the wreaths and things and have speakers. But there's just no reason to have tons of people there under tents, not distanced. It's still something we can broadcast. That's the generic plan right now.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't see any further public comment. So at 7:32, this meeting of the Lansing City Council is adjourned. Thank you all for your time.